Hi, I'm Bart Spence, and welcome back to the Aha Factor. Friends, I'm very excited to introduce our guest today, my friend, my colleague, somebody I consider an exceptional leader, Tyler Wilson. Tyler, thank you very much for being on the show today.
Hey, Bart. It's nice to be here.
Well, we're really happy to have you. Listen, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, humor in the workplace.
That makes a lot more sense. I thought you said humans in the workplace.
Uh, Friends, we'll be right back after a message from our sponsor.
You got a sponsor?
No. Okay, so you and I agree that humor and laughter in the workplace has a lot of value. But what I'm always surprised by is organizations and leaders who just don't seem to get it. They view laughter and humor in the workplace as a distraction. And I think it's because they simply lack the understanding of it. I mean, from a pure scientific perspective, when we laugh, when we embrace humor, our brains release chemicals, and they're known as the happy chemicals in our brain, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins. And they have a variety of purposes and benefits. But one of the key is they actually help boost our immune system. And on the flip side, when we work in organizations where fear is predominant and people are somewhat miserable, cortisol is released. And unfortunately, cortisol, especially in larger amounts, hurts our immune system. And so, we've all heard the old adage, laughter, the best medicine, really rings true. It has a health benefit.
In addition, humor is also very good at diffusing and leading people through stressful situations as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That reminds me. Do you remember when Tyler and I had volunteered to do a cleanup project at a rec center, and this place was pretty bad off, and there was a mezzanine that I don't even know what the hell it all was, but a whole bunch of nasty stuff had collected underneath it, and well, why don't you tell the story? Because you talk about humor diffusing a stressful situation.
Man, you talk about a memory to have. So, you said it well. It was gross, right?
Yeah.
So we had that catwalk, and we're all getting ready to get under there. We know it's going to be tough, and we look like bandits getting ready to go out. We're getting our heads put up and stuff like that. And
The bandanas.
we get the bandanas on.
Because it stunk.
Oh, it was awful.
It stunk bad, yeah.
So, and we knew we had to get on our hands and knees to get under there. I mean, it wasn't going to be a fun job at all. But we got back there, we made some jokes, and we got underneath there, and we started getting into the cleaning, and the smell started getting a little bad. And then we lifted up the first piece, and it was awful. I mean, it hit, and when it hit, it was just, you had to stop. We stopped, and it was just like, you know what? I'm going to stomach it. I've got kids. I've changed diapers. I can handle this. So then I turn around and be like, hey, guys, this is what we need. Mr. Bart Spence over here is going, and I lost it. Had to immediately come out. So to come out, re-game plan this whole thing.
I was doing everything I could do to keep my cookies down, but oh man, that was a tough situation. But the beauty of that was we had a whole day ahead of us of a lot of tough cleanup to perform, and we just kept coming back to that hilarious moment. We had other people with us, and we fed off the power of that humor to get us through this less than appealing project that we volunteered for.
When you walk into a plant and you hear laughter and you see people working together, you feel that there's a sense of safety. Right? There's a sense of comfortability that they're a part of something they can feel safe in.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is referred to as psychological safety. And that's a really good point, because if people feel safe to laugh, if they feel safe to exercise humor, especially when the leaders are included, then I'll bet the farm they feel safe to speak up about just about anything. They feel safe to challenge the status quo. And on the flip side, you go into a workplace where clearly laughter is not the norm and is looked poorly upon. I can almost guarantee you there's a lack of psychological safety. People do not feel safe speaking up, and the status quo is probably never challenged.
Well, if you walk out to a plant and the laughter stops, I think you need to look in the mirror, right? That's where the trust is broken. It's not there. And
Yeah.
that's where you need to, as a leader, self-reflect on why does it stop when I walk
Yeah,
out
that's really. She's coming. No, we weren't laughing. Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Do you give your people permission to laugh? And if not, to your point, tells me that you probably need to look at how you're leading others. Yeah, I think absolutely very valuable for leaders to embrace and practice, humor as a leadership skill. Something to be aware of. Not all humor is created equal. Agreed?
Oh, 100% agree.
Yeah. One of my favorite styles of humor that I think really works well for leaders is what we refer to as self-deprecating humor. This is where a leader can laugh at themselves, where they more or less become the brunt of the joke, if you will. When we opened the show, you made the comment, what the hell did you say?
Humans instead of humor in the workplace.
And that is a form of self-deprecating humor. And when it's used sparingly, so you don't portray yourself as being a complete idiot, it can work. But I think the thing that's really important for people to understand, and why I think people shy away from humor, is out of fear. Fear that humor will create a problem, possibly an HR problem. And if you're using aggressive humor, where somebody becomes the target or an organization becomes the target of the humor, that's a problem. It's the kind of humor that, quite frankly, should be left to the stand-up. Who was the stand-up comic we
You have
talked?
old Don Rickles.
Yeah,
great example.
Don Rickles, right? He personified aggressive humor, always attacking. But in his position, perfectly acceptable. If we hired Don Rickles and he came to work for us,
Looking at an HR nightmare.
yeah, we're looking at an HR nightmare. So, it's very simple. I have a simple rule that I use when I talk about humor in the workplace, or even when I embrace it: do no harm. Humor is meant to lift everybody in the organization. And if you're in a leadership role and you think you're being funny and you're the only one laughing, it could be that you're the problem. So take care and do no harm. If you walk into a workplace and you hear healthy, inclusive laughter,
That's culture.
that's culture.